So firstly, I myself am Mudra Parekh. I have my own vegan business where I sell dairy alternatives including plant-based milks and cheese and curds. So here we all are today to support and promote all these young kids and the kids that are really gonna make the difference in our world tomorrow. So first of all, we have Surya. She is this cute little 11-year-old girl who turned vegan when she was just 9 years old, and she has been doing great things ever since. She plays tabla that are not made of leather. She feeds stray cats, and recently she had this drive where she fed stray cats. She had this temporary business of vegan brownies, and all the proceedings are going to go to an animal shelter where she is going to work. So welcome, Surya. We are very glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Next is Ananya. So Ananya Jain is in Surat, Gujarat. She is just 13 years old, and she is doing amazing work by feeding lots and lots of dogs every day. She feeds about 100 to 200 dogs, and this is not even anything that I can imagine myself doing at that age. So welcome, Ananya. We have this great pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Next, we have Manish. He is 14-year-old vegan chef. He bakes brownies and cupcakes, and he sells it in Trichy. So that is something very amazing and inspirational. Welcome, Manish. Next, we have Mansa. So Manish and Manasa are siblings. Mansa is 18 and she is doing amazing work. She is an animal rights activist and is doing great work along with his brother. And we are very grateful to have you all here.
Thank you.
So, moving on, for this panel discussion, I would like to ask you all some questions today. So, we all know that our journey of veganism starts when we actually make the connection with animals and what is going on in this world that we don't even know about. So the first question to you all will be that how did you make the connection with the food on your plate or the glass of milk that you guys would be already every day drinking.
Hello, shall I talk about how I went vegan?
Yeah, sure, the floor is yours.
Okay, so we were raised vegetarian. We never consumed meat, but we used to eat dairy and honey. And around 4 years ago, I realized that meat came from animals, and I had always liked animals. So, though we did not consume meat, a lot of my friends used to consume meat. So, I tried telling them that their food was once a living being who did not want to die. But most of them came up with different excuses like lions also eat meat and that plants feel pain. And I would come home from school and go on the internet and watch videos of other activists to kind of know what they do to debunk these excuses. I knew that killing animals was wrong and unnecessary, but I did not know how to respond to their excuses. So when I was watching videos of activists, I stumbled upon this video by Gary Yurovsky called "The Best Speech You'll Ever Hear." And I actually watched it so that I can respond to what my meat eating friends say. But in the end, he talks about how the dairy industry is very cruel and it's as cruel as the meat industry. And I had no clue that I had been contributing to an industry that exploits innocent individuals. So I decided to go vegan, and then I showed the video to my parents as well. And I started talking about dairy as well to my friends in addition to meat. So that's how I went vegan.
That's amazing. So I really don't see myself, just leaving dairy or anything when I would be your age. Like at 14, I would not imagine myself doing that at all. I was too hooked on cheese. So, so next, Manish or Ananya, you can also just go ahead.
Hello everyone. So I would like to thank the Earthen for this great opportunity. Here's how I went vegan. So I always liked animals, and I used to pet stray cats and dogs and hens. And I was also a vegetarian from the beginning, but I drank milk and ate dairy products, thinking that milking a cow doesn't harm it or kill it. I came to know the horrors of the dairy industry from my sister, and I decided that it was high time that all humans go vegan to save the innocent animals that do not deserve to get treated in such a cruel manner. Also, I learned the health benefits and the facts that say that we can prevent climate change by being vegan, which of course is beneficial to all living organisms. I also watched Gary Yourofsky's speech and other documents like the Game Changers and Cowspiracy. And then I found that there was absolutely no reason not to go vegan. In the beginning, I sort of missed the non-vegan foods like pizzas and cheese, but thinking about the animals and the positive impact that veganism had on the lives of all these innocent beings made it such that these cravings vanished. And there are also vegan alternatives, of course, that are available in most places. Yeah, that's how I went vegan, and I found that it was a wonderful thing to do and the right thing to do.
That's an amazing story. I really hope that, more people get inspired by you and make the change. Surya, would you like to go now?
I became vegan. Well, actually, first of all, I was non veg. I was raised like non veg. I don't remember my parents being non veg because I think, like, since I remember, my parents were always veg. But I was non veg. I think at second grade, I turned vegetarian, just vegetarian. I watched a movie called Okja. I'm not sure if any of y'all have heard of it.
Yeah, it's
But
really heart touching.
yeah, and like that just showed me because like at first like I didn't like think much. I just thought like meat or chicken or anything is just a yummy food. Like I never would have thought that somebody's life, like a whole life, was taken out just to give me one meal or less. And so that's what got me vegetarian. It was really hard for me because like I in my school I used to go to Aditi. Everyone brings their own food. So I would see everyone else eating meat and stuff, and I was like not like I was missing meat things. So I turned non-veg again because of one comment my grandma made. Because I don't think she thought I was trying to go vegan. I am veg. I thought because I was like non-veg the most of my life, so I don't think she knew I was going veg. So like we were going to a cafe and then like she like I was already missing all these non-veg things. Then she told me like, oh, are you like I was kind of young, so she's like, oh, are you gonna go eat yummy sausages then? And then I just like broke. I'm like, I want those sausages. So then I became non-veg again, but after a while I did become vegetarian before third grade. And then vegan, it was just like a change I wanted to make. Like my mom was vegan. I don't know since when, but my both my parents are vegan. So like my mom would always tell me about how like milk is bad for you, and also I had a bad milk allergy. So not only for that, only for the also for the animals, because I thought like nobody ever tells kids where milk come from. Like they say, oh, it comes from a cow, a happy cow, and all these ads and videos like the cow is roaming free and then like it's so happy to give you milk and like stuff.
Very
But
true.
then
It's just marketed, right?
yeah, they just say, oh, I'm happy to give you milk, and then they give you milk, and then you're like, oh wow, the cow's giving us milk, so we'll take it. But my mom told me the truth, like over time, that like the cows are not happy or healthy. The male calves go to a slaughterhouse, and the like young female calves, they get injected hormones so they can produce milk and like give more babies. And I thought that's horrible, that's unnatural and not good for anyone. And then that really got me thinking like why should we drink milk from another species? So eventually I turned vegan.
That's an inspiring story coming from, when you were 2 years like younger. So when you were 9 years old, it's really hard to imagine that you could, think all that and understand all that. So it's really good. Ananya.
Thank you.
Yeah, so my vegan journey started when I was like 9 years old, and I wasn't vegan at that time and wasn't also animal lover at that time. But I used to be very scared because of the stray dogs. And then one day, my father took me to some five puppies around on the streets, and I was so scared. But then I like slowly moved to them, and I was like, they are so cute and they don't do anything to us, but then also we are so scared from them. Then gradually, I started getting attached to animals and I started loving animals. But then one day I had this question that why do we only so if I talk about my friends and relatives, they only like puppies around. They don't like stray dogs. If we talk about the uh, so I thought like why we would discriminate animals around us. So I got this thing on social media about veganism, and I was like, what is veganism? Happening to the cows. So I was vegetarian and I did not eat meat, and I thought that I'm not doing any animal cruelty. But then I slowly realized what happens with the cows, and it's on the ads it's shown that cows are milk machine, and how I did not know that cows are so brutally abused because of milk. But I thought कि ऐसे ही milk आ जाता है cow से. So finally I decided to go vegan, and I got to know about the cruelty. I was so horrified, and I actually started crying. So yeah, that's how I went vegan, and I really I also talked to a lot of people about veganism, but they give a lot of excuses, uh, especially the religious people around that animals are for us to eat, and God has given animals for us to eat, and we can use and whatever we can do whatever we want. So yeah.
That is very true. In the case of cows, we are so much, told since the beginning that they are just here to give us milk, which is not really true.
Yeah.
And all your stories are really inspiring, and I really hope that people, not really your age, but even regardless of their age, understand that and make the change. So the second question for you all is that how difficult was it to convince your parents, or how did they even react when you told them that you wanted to go vegan? So for Surya, it will be the other way around.
Okay, shall I start?
Yeah, yeah, no problem.
Uh, my parents were very supportive, but initially they had their concerns like, where will you get your calcium from if you stop drinking milk? But I was kind of firm in my decision and I showed them Gary Yorovsky's videos. They were a little bit worried in the beginning, but eventually they did their research and they got convinced, and they also got to know about the environmental benefits and the health benefits, and then they decided to go vegan as well. So that's how we became a vegan family. And now my mom buys only vegan stuff for her kitchen, and she cooks only vegan food. And my dad's also written a book recently on veganism titled Vegan or We Are Gone. And he talks to companies and college students about veganism. So I really appreciate how open minded my parents were and are.
That is really nice. What about you, Ananya? I can't ask Manish because their parents are literally the same person.
So my parents were also a lot supportive, and when I told them that I want to be vegan, and uh, instead a lot of parents ask a lot of questions to to their children like, why do you want to go vegan? But my parents did not ask any questions to me. Just the concern was that where will you get your calcium and your nutrition. So I explained them everything, and I'm a person who likes to research. So I researched everything about nutrition and then showed it to my parents, and then they said yes, that you can go vegan. But sometimes what happens is, uh, my family is still not vegan. So sometimes my mom forces me to eat something. Like if she has made some cheese paratha or something like that, she'll force me to taste or do something, but I refuse to do that. So yeah, they are very supportive, but sometimes uh, they are like
Yeah.
to khale and all those. Yeah.
I can understand. But the important part is that you remained adamant on your ground, and that is really
Yeah.
nice.
Thank you.
So another question is that how, like, since you guys are still young and you can make a difference and still you are in schools or in the education system, how do you think that the schools or the colleges can implement animal compassion in their students or in their like the whole family, like school and parents and everybody?
I dropped off.
Yeah. So do you
I
want to
didn't get a chance
continue?
to answer.
Yeah, so do you want to continue with this answer and then go back, or answer the first question and then come back here?
Answer the first question.
Okay, go on. Do you want?
My parents were happy that I went vegan because they wanted me to go vegan, and they're very supportive about it. Like they'd help me. Like when I was craving pizza, they'd get me a vegan pizza, and when I was craving sausages, they'd get me vegan sausages. Like they were very supportive, which I found very helpful.
That's really good. So it was, you are in a place where you can easily find stuff. So people like me don't find vegan stuff easily. So that was like a good thing on your side. Okay, back to the question. The question was, how can schools implement animal compassion in their students? So, Surya, do you want to continue or we can pass on? Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
I think schools should open up about that, because like they don't want to see, being vegan is not the most popular thing right now. So I think even though it's not, they should think. Because I feel like if this was brought up, this could be a thought in their minds. Like they could be like, oh, but if we say like you should be vegan and like only give vegan foods, like so many parents are against veganism. So they'll be like, oh, I'm pulling my child away from veganism because you're like restricting what my child should eat, and like you're telling her not to eat this. And then like parents will have trouble at home because the child will be like, I don't want milk, I don't want meat, and then some parents like just have to give it to them. So yes, schools would worry about that, so would parents. But I do think it should be open, because like veganism is great. Like animal should not be abused. Like they should not be what you eat on your plate. And most schools are veg because people are veg, like most Indian schools, I think. But even milk, because like something, it's not too hard. Because in my school we have Indian food, but like a lot of the time I can't eat things because they have milk, and like I go hungry home on a long bus ride, because like there's snack and then you go for the bus ride, which is like about 1.5 hours for me. So a lot of the times I have to skip snack and the morning snack because that also has, and then like my food is cut down a lot in lunch because like a lot of the things have milk. So I find that like a lot of people are allergic to milk. So schools definitely should have a lot more vegan options. If not, it's all vegan.
Yeah, very true. Like most, more than 75%, I guess, are lactose intolerant, but like, they don't even know about it
Yeah,
till they actually find about it.
what I was just gonna say is like people, like a lot of people, like most people, they're allergic to milk. So they'll be having like health problems. They'll take a medicine. They'll be like, "Why is my stomach hurting? Why am I getting hives?" But like no matter what you say, like they'll go off wheat, they'll go off like eggs, they'll go off broccoli, I don't know. But whatever you say, they're not gonna go off milk. They don't, they're like,
True.
oh, milk is just like a regular essential thing.
Yeah,
Because
you
most of
just
the
need
time it's
to
milk.
have
Like,
milk.
yeah, like people will be like, oh, but how can I survive without milk? How can I do that? I won't be healthy. Like whenever somebody has extreme allergies, like I tell them, have you tried going off milk? Because they've tried everything. And then they're
True.
like, no, how will I have it without? I'm like, I have it without. Like, they should try off milk because like so many people have bad milk allergies and don't know about it, and that could lead to serious health problems.
Very true. When like I remember that when I was in my first second grade, they used to teach us that milk is the, the essential diet, and that is a complete diet. So you need to have milk. So now, Ananya, do you want to take over?
Yeah, okay. So I think schools, if we talk about the food we get to eat in the school, uh, mostly we have like uh, khichdi and curry and roti sabzi. And most of the times we don't have a lot of vegan options in school, but I think we should have a different center where vegans can have their food without milk or without paneer or any dairy product. Of course, non-veg is not allowed in our school, but still, if there is a specific corner for vegans, it would be better. And also, if I talk to a lot of people, they are not aware about what happens in the dairy industry, and a lot of people also don't know that what is a slaughterhouse. Instead, so I think that a lot of schools should have different sessions or call uh, like session where they talk about this problem and what animal abuse is and what's happening to the animals around. So spreading awareness would be a good cause, because after uh, people get to know the truth, they go vegan, and animals also would not suffer more. Yeah.
Very true. We hope that you will, like, you already do talk to your classmates, but we hope that in the future you will be out on the streets, just outreaching everybody and teaching everybody what it is.
Yeah.
So over to Manish.
Many schools, including my school, there are animals that are caged inside the school campus. So I don't know why schools do that. I think that's totally useless, and it's also obviously cruel. We take the animals away from their natural habitat, their parents, their family, and then we cage them just for little kids to see. And little kids don't find anything wrong with that because it becomes a normal thing for them to see animals caged. So that shouldn't be done in schools. And also, schools can include speeches from various animal rights activists and can educate the youngsters, because after all, the young generation is going to be the citizens of tomorrow. So I think by telling them about veganism, we can make a huge difference, and that could be a way of making the world vegan. And also, students can be given a platform to talk about veganism, because today many students are vegans, and it would be great if they can spread the awareness of veganism, especially in their schools, to their classmates, teachers, and so on. So that would be a great thing to do in schools to spread veganism.
That is very insightful, and maybe you can, ask your teachers if you could just speak about it or something like that, because Ananya does that in her school. So you can speak about it in your school. So over to Mansa, and you can also speak about your book that you wrote, inspiring people.
You wrote a book?
I wrote a children's book called Larry the House Lizard. It's a story. It's a normal story of things that happen in a house from the lizard's point of view. So I think it kind of helps people develop empathy of looking from an animal's point of view to see how to look at humans as a different species. So yeah, my book is for 7 to 8 years old people, I think. Okay, and I think schools are places where the implementation of animal compassion is very important, because as children we all love animals, and we connect with them and we look at them as individuals. But as we grow up, I think the society conditions us to look at them as objects.
Very
And
true.
yeah. So I think one thing that schools can do is conduct animal rescue activities that students can do as a team. They can be taught basic first aid or something so that they can help animals. And schools can also organize talks and sessions, like Ananya and Manish said, by activists. And also, my class 12 biology syllabus had topics about fishing, breeding hens, cows, and milking cows, which are clearly exploitation of animals. And these topics should not be part of any school syllabus. So, removal of chapters that are pro animal cruelty should be something that schools should do.
Very true. So, move on to the personal questions, starting with Surya. And I would like to present a presentation that tells us something a little bit about Surya, and we'll get to know better. That was a very sweet message given by you. So, my first question to you would be: would, like, you live in Bengaluru? So, as you said that there are very, like, very various amounts of vegan options available. So, do you think that the schools in Bengaluru in the future would be actually open to talking about veganism, or to include that in the curriculum or something like that?
I think so, because already like my school is like it's veg, like no meat. Most schools that have that like you bring food, you can bring non-veg food, but sometimes you can't. So I believe in the future, maybe not the near future, maybe a little farther, but I think in the future something would happen going towards vegan.
We all hope that, you know all schools include that, and the world will be a vegan world. After all, we all here hope that. So my second question to you would be: what was your experience with stray cats?
Well, before online school and stuff, like when I was less busy, I would go sorry, not really stray, but yeah, I guess you could say stray. In RRI, Raman Research Institute, where my grandmother has a house, they're like in the canteen. It's more of a cat canteen than human canteen. There are like 20 to 25 cats, depending on where they are, but in the whole place, there are a lot of cats. Like, you can't go in there for 5 minutes and not come out without seeing at least a couple of cats. So, I would go there every day at about 4:30, and I would feed them. Like, I would go to my grandma's house, get a box of cat food, and then I'd take it along the way to the canteen, and they'd all come running. And then I would feed them at like each 3 servings because they were really hungry, and they were I tried to give them all equal. and count. And then after that, I would play with them, and like there were always new kittens to see, and like somebody grew fat, somebody grew thin, somebody like got kittens. Somehow we find the mother of the kittens, and that's really nice. Like every time it's new, and like and certain kittens like to be pet, and like you can always see kittens, and like the like you can pet them. Like it's so nice. I play with them, and also once I have a foot problem. So once my parents and I were going on a walk, and the foot problem had occurred, and I was on crutches at the time, so I couldn't go on the walk with them. So I have like a go kart. It's like there. So they pulled it with two belts attached, and I was sitting down in the go kart. It's like really low, and then one of the kittens saw me. In our eye only, we were going for a walk. It's very naturey. It came and it walked with us the whole entire time. Like wherever we were going around and then this way, it walked with me and I was petting it because I was at that level. It was walking, I was petting it, walking. Yeah.
That is so pretty. So moving on, we have Ananya, and here is a little bit about her. So she feeds almost 100 to 200 dogs, stray dogs on a daily basis. And as she said that she was earlier very afraid of them, so let us see her journey. your story as just like everyone, like all of the others present here, is really inspiring. And to see somebody do so much for street dogs at such a younger age is really great and inspiring. And we really hope that, in the future you are a great successful vet, and we have to recommend you for everybody in Surat.
Thank you so much.
So our my first question to you would be, why do you feel that stray dogs should be adopted? Because the first thing that we hear when we are talking about pet dogs is we want to buy that breed and we want to buy that breed. So why do you think that they should be adopted?
So if we talk about adoption, a lot of people, if I ask them, they prefer buying breed dogs. And what happens with breed dogs is very bad because if we talk about, if we say we take a Labrador breed and Golden Retriever, and there are a lot of scientists who experiment on breed dogs. So if we take those two breed dogs, uh, they experiment and there is a new breed that comes. So if we talk about Labrador and Golden Retriever, another breed came which is Labrador Retriever. So they are being bred and a lot of thing happens with them. And so if we talk about the breed dogs, a lot of people buy them so their mother, them the puppy's mother, he they are being injected to like produce more puppies so that they can sell them. and
That's horrible.
and a lot of, so if we talk about stray dogs, we have a lot of stray dogs in India, and a lot of them are dying because of road accidents, and if they also need vaccinations or else they'll die because of diseases. So I recommend people adopting stray dogs because if we adopt stray dogs, the first thing, the illegal breeding, if we talk about, that will stop. And also those stray dogs living in so much of uh, difficulty in life because they don't get any food. They go to dustbins and people blame that they are dirty and they do these things. So I find that instead the stray dogs will get a new life and a happy life. So I recommend adopting stray dogs rather than taking breed dogs from a store.
Very true. The breeding process is literally very cruel and gruesome. And I hope that people understand soon and stop buying and instead adopt.
People
So,
buy breed dogs because they look good. And if I say street dogs look more good than them. So like people just go on looks and then they buy breed dogs.
all
So
animals are lovable instead.
yeah,
Does not matter which breed or where they were born. When you take it in, it is a part of your family. So
yeah.
you treat it like that. So another question for you is, what hurdles did you face while feeding stray dogs?
A lot of problems happen, such as when I go to feed animals in my area, a lot of people don't like animals because they have a mentality that they'll bite us and they are dirty and ये हमें गंदा कर देंगे and all those stuff. And people complain that you are feeding near my society. Rather, I'm not feeding near their society, but then also they like don't like animals, so they'll hurt them and they'll not let us feed them. So some difficulties I like went through was uh, in my building, nor pet dogs are allowed and not street dogs are allowed. So uh, whenever a stray dog comes in our building, they'll hit them with a stick or a bat, and that's cruelty. So I'll say, I just say them that don't hurt them, at least उनको डरा के भगा दो. But they don't understand and they uh, start hitting them and abusing them, and they feel that animals should not be near us. इनको कहीं छोड़ाओ and kill them and do whatever you want, but we don't want animals near us.
You
And if
should
we
say
talk,
that the animals are feeling the same way about you. So
they don't understand, they'll still argue, and they would just argue, and they'll hit and they'll fight with us. And if I talk about the whole city, if I go to feed animals, people don't let us feed on the main road too, because they think
oh,
that if you feed them here, they'll come to our house, so we have to feed something to them. And these things happen. And if I talk about animals being injured, there are a lot of, I find like 5 animals injured every day
oh,
at
that
least.
is.
So for fostering them, there is no one to support, and instead I have to foster them. And people in my building won't allow me to take animals at my house. So this is a problem I'm facing right now. But still, I don't stop, and I will continue helping animals.
That is the spirit.
Thank you.
And that is something that we all need to learn from you, that no matter what people say, we don't, like, regardless of what they sorry, regardless of what they say, we need to do what our heart is set in. So I just wanted to ask you that if you have any, set of instructions to just, help a stray dog that is in need, some basic things, then please let us know. If any of us finds a stray dog that is hurt or something like that, we can help it in any way that we can. So just something basic that you can tell us.
So if we talk about summers, there is in summers it's very hot and animals around us are very thirsty. So I request you all to keep a bowl of water and some food for animals to eat, so they don't die from thirst or hunger. Then you can feed. I don't tell you to feed a lot of, but you can at least feed 1 or 2 uh, stray animals in your locality. And actually, if we talk about uh, animals, they just need food, shelter, and water. They'll not expect more from us. And so we should like inspire more people to join in and feed animals. Then during rainy season, if we talk about during rains, a lot of animals don't get shelter, and then they all get wet. So I uh, like request you all to allow your allow stray animals to enter your parking area or some shelter, so that they can protect themselves from the rain. And a lot of animals also die because of car accidents. So whenever you start your car or vehicle, I always I always say that please check if any animal is under your car, or else that animal will die. So I cook rice, and I pour some coconut milk with some coconut curd and some dog food if you can afford, and they'll all eat it.
Thank you. That is really helpful. And I hope that everybody follows whatever you said. Mansa. So I wanted to ask you that how do you you know, manage to just eat vegan food when you are out with friends? Because they usually don't understand what it is that the animals go through. And I'm sure that maybe, you also heard that, why are you doing this? You can't just alone make a difference. So
Yeah.
before you start, we would like to just show your introduction, you and Manisha's introduction, to all of the viewers. all the things that you showed are really tempting, and I don't know how people resist that. So yeah, you can now
Thank
go
you.
ahead.
Yeah, I will answer your question about how I try finding vegan food when I go out with my friends. So, uh, though there aren't any vegan restaurants in Trichy, the restaurants always have some vegan option or the other. Like a lot of South Indian food is already vegan, like idli, dosa, and everything. Or even if the place doesn't have any vegan food, I try and request the waiter to not add any non-vegan product in the food. So it's always kind of easy to find vegan food in places here. And also, every opportunity I get, I try to talk to my friends about veganism, about the cruelty that happens to the animals, and I try telling them why they should go vegan as well. And it's really good to see my friends try vegan options many times, though they aren't fully vegan yet. And I hope that they become vegan soon. And these days, after we started Cloud9, the one that was seen in the PPT, a lot of my friends have been ordering from Cloud9, so we deliver them to my friends as well, and it's really heartwarming.
They might even get inspired that, it doesn't really taste different even though it is vegan.
Yes.
So another question for you is it very difficult to, find the vegan ingredients there in Trichy?
Um, we have soy milk in Trichy. That's the only plant milk that's available. We try making almond milk, or we try grinding cashews, and we try different things at home. And we get vegan dark chocolate here that we use for some of our recipes. Yeah, so we try to make our recipes with what vegan things are available here, and we also go on the internet and find recipes and try them at home as well.
Even without all that, you are doing an amazing job, and as I told earlier, everything looks very delicious. So over to Manish.
Yes.
So again, everything looked very delicious, and you should not post pictures like that. So the question to you will remain more or less same, that how do you manage to go out with your friends when you don't really contribute, or you don't want to contribute to what they are eating?
So, in India and in South India as well, we all know that vegetarianism is like a thing. There are many vegetarian restaurants. So meat in most restaurants, meat is not included, or there are foods without meat. And for the food items that have milk in them, we can ask the waiter, as Mansa said, to not add any non-vegan stuff in the food. And also in South India, there are already vegan food. So when going out to eat, it is not a problem, even though there are no vegan restaurants, full-fledged vegan restaurants. There are always vegan options available. And so through Cloud9, I make my own vegan food and share it with friends. So yeah, that is there. And also I try to convince friends to my friends to eat more vegan food, and tell them the benefits and the cruelty that comes with non-vegan food, and the benefit of vegan food, how it improves their health and how it's better for the planet and all that. And of course, yeah, that's how I convince my friends.
Another question is that how did your friends react when they learned that you were going vegan? So that first instinct that they have.
Yeah, so many of my friends are quite, I would say, compassionate to animals. For example, in my school, some of my friends call themselves bird lovers, and during school, they point at birds outside the window, and tell all of us that's a bird of this type, and facts about it. So they're really passionate about studying about birds. And one day, one of my friends brought chicken, and they all ate chicken. And I asked them, "Isn't chicken a bird as well?" And they understood after that that we shouldn't really discriminate on between animals. And And when I told them I was vegan, some of them understood that veganism was really a good thing to do, because it helps animals a lot by we save them from loads of torture by being vegans. And some of them were skeptical, and they asked me if I'm missing the food that I used to consume before, like pizza. So I tell them that I make vegan pizza, and that it's not really a problem. And I also encourage them to go vegan. So yeah.
Yeah, being a chef yourself will be an enhancement to that. You don't have to miss on anything. You can just make it. So all your stories were really inspiring and amazing. I just have one last question for all of you. So we will start the answering by Surya and follow the same order. So the question for you all is, what can children and even adults do to help animals, like for now? What do you think that they can do from your point of view?
Like Ananya said, people shouldn't buy for breeds. Like once I was talking to my friends and we were talking about dogs and stuff. She has a toy poodle. Um, so like at some point in our conversation, she said, we didn't buy him for the training or anything. We bought him for the looks. That got me so mad. Like her dog that she loves so much, she bought him for the looks. Like even if she didn't love him, they would have bought it, which got me really mad. Because like people buy fancy breeds of cats, fancy breeds of dogs, like exotic things. Like they'll buy a leopard. Like some places, like you can buy foxes and stuff. And then like they'll take some Instagram photos and like be like, oh, so fancy, I have one. And then after they're done, they just throw it on the road or put it in an animal shelter because they can't take care of it. They never even think of that. So I think before you adopt, and definitely like adopt instead of buy. And people shouldn't like discriminate them. Like a lot of the times, like all my building friends are non-veg, so they'll be like, Chinese eat puppies and cats. That's horrible. And I'm like, I get so mad because like cats and dogs are animals other than humans, and so are chickens and fish. Like they're all animals. So I keep asking them, how do you get so mad when they eat a certain type of meat when y'all are also eating meat? So I
Very
definitely
true.
think like you can't criticize people on what they do when you actually do it yourself. And one more thing, a boy in my building, when they were doing crackers, this got me quite mad. Um, like he's like yelling at the ceiling. I don't know. He was very aggressive. Stop bursting crackers! You're killing animals. And in my head, I'm like, he is not veg. He kills animals. And so, like, definitely don't criticize without knowing, and help animals. Like, feed stray animals, like myself and Ananya, and don't like buy breeds if possible. Like go to an adoption drive um, before the option of buying a breed. Like if you can't find one in the drive. So basically, do as much as you can to help animals and like don't hurt them.
Very true. That was inspiring, and that also coming from such a cute person is yeah, cute person is really amazing. Who would like to continue? Manish?
So the one second. So I think people should first of all go vegan, because that's a very important step. Because before trying to care for animals, you shouldn't exploit them. So first stop exploiting and killing them, and then you also have to help them, because they're just like us. They too require love and care. So I think like Surya and Ananya are doing, I think we should feed stray animals and care for them. And we should really try to spread awareness about veganism and caring for animals to all of the people around us. So we should all together help uh, our quote travelers, as I would call them, on planet Earth. So we should care for every species, every bird, insect, animal, and we should treat them with love, just like how we treat, let's say, our family members or our pets. So I think we should do that and spread love to all animals.
Very true, very true. All the things that you said are really true, and I hope that more people get inspired from you all and start doing like whatever is possible for them, from adopting to feeding strays and being kind to animals, care for them. So yeah, moving on, who would like to go next?
Shall I go next?
Yeah, no issue.
Yeah, as Surya and Manish already said, I think children and adults, they need to understand that going vegan is very important, because not being vegan harms a lot of animals and kills them. And once you're vegan, I think we can help animals that are around us and make sure that they're not killed or harmed. And if that's not possible, at least we can donate to organizations that are already doing this. And also, as already mentioned, it's better to adopt animals, and it's never good to buy animals because there's always cruelty involved in there. So yeah.
Yeah, going vegan is the only option
True,
left
very true.
now. Because anything that we do involves some type of animal cruelty, no matter what.
Yes.
Be it as little as, eating chips. So I just read an article saying that they are adding milk solids to literally everything, including chips and nachos and stuff.
Yeah.
So if the world is going in that direction, we need to make a change.
Yes.
And all of you are doing that. And I'm very proud to, be here today with all of you. So Ananya, you are next.
I think the first steps, as everyone said, is going vegan. And a lot, if I talk to a lot of people, they think that animals are the property of us, and we can do anything we want with them, and they are not going to tell us anything. But as said, that animals cannot speak, but we vegans and animal lovers are there for them to speak. And also, if we talk about our laws, a lot our laws in India aren't strict about animals, because if a person kills any animal, it will the punishment is just 10 rupees of fine, and then they are left. So I think that we can all, if we all stand up and like tell the government, so the strict the laws also will be strict. And I also talked to the police about laws, but they told that if the population of India is only not like the population is not understanding that the laws, and they are not scared of it. So if the population will adjust and cooperate, then only the laws can be strict. So
Yeah.
if a lot of people go vegan and help animals, the laws will automatically uh, be harsh and strict. Yeah.
Yeah, very true. About the laws, it is very true that, as severe as beating a dog to death is, the penalty for that is only rupees 50. So that is really alarming the people. So, the people will be, they are not going to do anything if we do anything. So that is the mentality. Thank you all. Thank you for being here. And you've been an amazing audience. And I feel very lucky to be here with all these young kids who are doing so much for the animals, the environment, and everybody else. I hope that more people are inspired by you.